Let's now consider what we mean by structural gamification. Structural gamification is the application of game elements to propel a learner through content with no alteration or changes to the content. That is, the content does not become game-like, only the structure around the content. The most frequent example of this is the use of points, badges, and leaderboards as incentives to motivate and help learners gain new skills, knowledge, or behaviors. But structural gamification can also involve stories and even characters. The key is that the content is not changed by the game-like elements. Content is not redesigned or altered. For example, the multiple choice questions remain multiple choice questions, but the learner receives a reward or points for correctly answering the questions. The video the learner watches to earn a badge is not changed into a mystery. The video remains the same, but the structure around the video becomes like a game, with a badge awarded for watching the video. As the field of gamification has grown, the number of structural gamification tools has simultaneously expanded and diversified. Currently, there are a number of different methods of presenting structural gamification. Many of these structural approaches include the same elements of points, badges, and leaderboards, but it's the application of those elements that differ. For example, some approaches are focused on using game-like frameworks to drive learner behavior, while others are focused on using badges or even competition. And a few even incorporate mini games as part of their offerings, blending games and gamification. But the one thing most of them have in common is the use of questions. If your organization does not write good questions or does not have a readily available question bank, implementing an off-the-shelf structural gamification platform could be a time-intensive process. You need to have dozens and dozens of questions to have any experience last over any significant amount of time. Many platforms or systems rely on questions to build skills, knowledge, and behavior. Most of the platforms have templates for the entry of questions and have sophisticated tools to help managers, faculty members, and others monitor and track what is happening within the learning process. Tracking the number of correct answers to questions isn't the only way these platforms are measuring learning. A number of platforms have begun to measure and reward the learner behaviors and actions. For example, some systems measure what the employee does on the job, and the actions are recorded by a gamification system which is tied into the employee's workflow. If the employee exhibits the desired behavior, he or she is awarded points. Additionally, a performance or behavior of the employee can also be recorded by the employee through self-reporting, or a boss or a professor can observe a behavior and assign points. Many platforms are using a combination of approaches that measure both performance and knowledge. The larger systems even have the ability to turn on and off features. For example, the system could award badges, or that feature could be turned off and the system just reward points, or vice versa. Knowing the different types of structural gamification will position you to make intelligent decisions about what type is best to meet the needs of your learners.